Okay, so here we are. We're in Alaska. We're off on this hunt. Everybody piles into a car. What happens next?
Well, I was in a Polaris Ranger with our guide, Kevin Atkins, and Eva Shockey, Jim Shockey's daughter, who has started joining him on his show. And we were tracking a herd of reindeer throughout the morning. We were just going up another hill, another one of the many, many hills that we'd gone up and down all morning with no trouble. We get almost to the top of this hill, and we suddenly lost traction. And it was like someone shot us out of a slingshot. We began hydroplaning straight back down the hill, and I realized we were in trouble when I saw our guide look over his shoulder at the two guys behind us on the quads and yell at them, "Stop me!" And I thought, oh no, this is not good. And we hit one of the quads. The assistant guide says the quad jumped up in the air, spun around 3 times, and then came back down. And we continued going down. It slowed us down, but it did not stop us. We ended up going over a bank and dropping 15 feet down, hit the back end of the Polaris Ranger, and then started to roll. So it was quite the roller coaster ride.
Okay, so let me get this right. You're sliding off the glacier now.
That's what it felt like.
But actually, at the end of all this, thankfully, you sustained some neck injuries because you struck the windshield or something to that effect?
Well, there was a roll cage on the vehicle. Thank God, that saved all of our lives. Our guide was ejected from the vehicle and took a hard hit to the ribs, and we're pretty sure his ribs are broken. I got airborne within the cab. I hit the roof of the cab, which means I would have been ejected as well had the cab not been on this vehicle. And then I ended up hitting the dashboard. The next thing I know, I'm on my back. My head is on the ground, thank God not on a rock. And I'm legs up with my legs across the dashboard, and poor Eva Shockey looking over me like, oh my goodness, what just happened? But thank God I walked away with a sprained neck, not real bad. And Eva got bruises. Poor Kevin, our guide, he's the one that took the hardest hit. He's got a couple of broken ribs. But I got to tell you, the man is one tough son of a gun. He drove all the way back over every bump and little dive and rivulet with those broken ribs and got us back to the village. The organization that runs the hunts, which is a PICTA, and that's they're called the Aleutian Pribilof Islands Community, Aleutian Pribilof Island Community. They're the ones that own the reindeer on the island. They were imported many years ago. They're owned by the native Aleuts who live there, and they've ranged freely on the island. PICTA runs the operation. We immediately got word to them, and they had a charter there to get us out and to Anchorage the very next morning, where we were taken to the emergency room and discharged by the ER doctor. They did not find any fractures on either of us, but as you know, rib fractures can be difficult to x-ray sometimes. Kevin says he's broken his ribs before. He's pretty sure they're broken now, but I'm okay. And I'm back at work. So thank goodness
okay. So
that worked out well. I'm getting back out there next month.
Okay, that lovely neck brace, was that actually, did they have that in the camp, or did that come later?
There was a clinic in the village, and when I say a village, I mean a teeny tiny village. There's about 20 people that live on this island year round. And we went to the village, and they communicate with an ER in Anchorage. The clinician who works there took all of my information, checked me out. They faxed the information to the ER doctor in Anchorage. He called in, told her to put me in a neck brace just in case, until I could get x-rays to make sure I didn't have any fractures. So that's where the neck brace came from.
Well, this would be a perfect time to throw in a commercial for one of the air medevacs that we read about and that we all have insurance with. The plane that was provided, how was that done?
It was a private charter through ACE, who is located in Anchorage. I had my emergency evacuation information for Global Rescue, who is the company that the hunting report strongly recommends, because they will come get you wherever you are. You don't have to be in a hospital first or assessed by a doctor first to be medically evacuated by them. And I was fully prepared to call on their services, but I didn't need to. APICTA immediately stepped in. I really think the organization is to be commended for the way that they handled this emergency. Also, Dan Goodenow from Jim Shockey Adventures, he kept a very cool head, got us all assessed, checked out the vehicles to make sure that they would work, that we could get back safely, and we did, because everybody on the team, including Eva Shockey, who's a very young lady, we all kept cool heads and worked together to get ourselves assessed and get out of there and back to civilization.
Okay, well, congratulations, Barbara. I'm sorry. It looks like the hunt kind of got scratched at that point, however, right?
It did. It did. At that point, it was make sure everybody is healthy and not seriously injured. And then both of those vehicles, the Polaris that rolled and the ATV that we hit on our way down, need to be assessed by a mechanic, and the roll cage might have to be replaced. All of that had to be checked on. So the hunt was over at that point for safety's sake, and I think APICTA made the right decision about that, as well as Dan Goodenow from Jim Shockey Adventures.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. For those of us who are selfish enough to ask this question, and I am, did you see any reindeer?
No, I never got to see a reindeer, but I'm going back in October, and I will get my reindeer then.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're going to go back in October with the same outfitter, and you're going to pick up the hunt from there. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you'll have the same team with you, or are you going back separately with some other folks?
Well, I believe Kevin will be guiding on it, and I'll have the same assistant guide, Danny Snickeroff, who is a native Aleutian, and he's the one who was actually tracking the reindeer for us. He knew exactly what to look for and had us on them. We were getting close, but luck would not have it. So it will be the same company, same folks that I'll be back with.
Sure. And accidents do happen. Again, that's one of those things that you hope your outfitter, and I know you well enough to know, Barbara, that you checked the outfitter out before you went, and that you were very comfortable with going with him. It sounded like a very exciting hunt. I mean, short from the accident part, it sounds like a very remote village that is owned by some of the local people, and you are probably in an area, and hopefully you'll return to that area, like you said, and show us some pictures of some big reindeer.
I hope to next time.